Okay, we're live.
All right, it is July 15th at 6 p.m. and this is a special meeting called by the county council to address some issues we couldn't get to in our July 10th meeting. If you would stand with me for the pledge, followed by invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your head, please. Dear Heavenly Father, please be with this group of people in here and help us resolve the problems in the community. Get things back on the right for the rest of the year. Please watch over the people in Texas that is continually having destruction down there. Please be with our government, be with our county, be with our United States, be with the Ukraine, Russia, everybody. Let's all just get along, Lord. Please help with that, with all you can, with your guiding hand. Thank you for everything, Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Yeah. So the only thing really on the agenda tonight is to dig into the appropriations and fix the
She's giving me an ordinance number.
budget for the 2025 sheriff's office from the agreement and such. Jerry, I see you looking at it. I don't know how to explain that either yet. Kinley made it. We'll dig into it here in a minute, but I think from looking at it, the highlighted items are 25, the white items are what was 24, and that's kind of the total and what account they were paid out of, just so we can, if we need it, it's there. It was better than printing a bunch of pages out.
Okay, 43.
All right, so I
Did you
guess
print 'em? Did you print them out? Okay.
some of these I think we all agree on, right? With like the lit, special purpose, things like that. We can buzz through them quicker and then get to the things we have.
Let's do 1170 Public Safety Sheriff Department. Because that one was all right. We don't have to unappropriate anything. And that'll be
So when we talk about unappropriate,
43.
we went through and looked at what would have been in that original budget. And obviously, for sake of math, if we had $100 budgeted and then the agreement was 200, you have to unappropriate the 100 to appropriate the 100 or the 2 to give you the total amount.
If they're coming out of
If they're coming out of different funds.
Yeah.
Same page so far. I just want to make sure to try to explain it.
It'd be the same thing on the transfer.
Yeah, because it took me a
Well,
while to wrap my head around some of this moving from all the different funds to get the lines correct.
yeah, you can't transfer between funds. What happened here is that the 2025 budget, and more for Matthew's sake so he can understand, the 2025 budget and then the March quarterly appropriations, some of them were taken out of other funds like lit special purpose, lit public safety. We're now having to take those out of general fund because those funds are pretty much depleted. So in order to do that, so let's say Sheriff Gooden's salary is $110,000. We had already appropriated $55,000 out of those lit funds. Well, now what we're going to do is unappropriate that $55,000 out of the lit funds and appropriate the whole 110 out of general.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Guys?
Everybody on board?
Okay, good, because it's gonna be fun. That one has no unappropriation, so you're good there.
All right, let me see. I'm trying to just get this to work. If so, then I can put them up there so everybody can follow
I
along.
was gonna say, 'cause I don't have we didn't bring it, we figured you had paper she showed us, so, but if that's what this
I didn't
is.
bring mine, yeah.
If it cooperates, it will be.
And we already gone.
That's about
I
my.
think he's just looking for the right,
He just wanted to
All right.
get out of here, wasn't
I'm just trying to make sure I have the right.
that one's not right. She didn't send it. Did you email a new one on the one that I had 2 corrections on?
I think I did.
I-
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah.
No.
He wants to put them up on the screen. Can
Give me
you
a
just
second.
forward it to JR? It would be AA 1170 sheriff. Yeah, no, sheriff.
That's jail.
No, that's the one. What is that? That's the sheriff's department.
It's the sheriff.
he? Young said right there. too.
Yeah, it's just you guys, so you can sit wherever works for you.
Okay, there you go.
Actually,
See you good? I didn't know if you.
Yeah, I see.
Maybe.
Am I gonna pop forward?
Does it go down on you?
Yeah,
Technology's neat.
I know, right?
Oh,
It's so great. I'm about to
Oh.
disconnect this little thing he had me hook up.
We didn't have that before.
There you go. We're into something.
Okay,
It just did.
and I can explain how we got these numbers since they're different than the agreed order. After several hours with Jennifer yesterday.
Bigger.
This little thing, what do you mean don't you just hit the top, that little thing at the top that says out? Where's your person? There you go.
Here we go, coming into it.
It's like
Sorry.
the blind, no, not that one, the other one, down. On the one, there you go, right there.
You get that now?
Yeah, I got it.
He's been aggravating the crap out of me.
Okay, well, that doesn't make it much better, but
I think we're good.
that'll make it smaller again. No. There you go. You can open it in Word too. You got it on the one drive.
Ah,
Okay.
this is about as good as it's getting, I think.
Okay, so that's 43, right?
That look at what you would expect. So what it is, so far, this one is out of lit public safety. It's 1170. All of this was paid out of the 1170 previously. So this is what the additional amount would be. We all, not so much the people in this room, but anybody watching needs to keep in mind, not only is this the agreed order, but it's also the second 2 quarters. So it's not like the sheriff's asking for $500,000 more than what would have originally been budgeted, because some of this portion is the second, like we've budgeted
Second, third and fourth
1 and 2, so this would be 3 and 4 quarters plus whatever the agreed order was.
And they're all coming out of lit. So for instance, the chief deputy, the agreed order was 71,500. We had already appropriated 31,241.75 out of lit public safety in the original budget, as well as the second quarter in March. So that left a difference of 40,258, and that's what you see here. And that's what I've come up with in looking at what's already appropriated and subtracting that out of what Sheriff Gooden asked in his exhibits in the agreed order. And so those are just the balances. They're all still coming out of lit public safety. There's nothing to unappropriate.
So with this, I would entertain a motion to accept ordinance 2025-43, which would be out of Fund 1170, the lit public safety, to the sheriff's department to suffice the remainder of the 2025 budget. The total amount as projected appears $576,539.
Make that motion.
I second it.
Motion by Collins, a second by Miller. Any questions or comments from council?
We're just getting ready to appropriate that?
Yes,
Is that what we're doing?
just moving it
Just moving
to
it.
those
Yeah, I
lines.
saw that.
All in favor?
Who's not here?
6-0. James Ritchie's not here. If you,
Okay.
Is that coming from the general to this?
that one comes from lit public safety to this, which is where all of those were originally funded from.
Okay.
Just
Do
the only
you
thing
see-
changed is the numbers.
At the top there, it says fund information. That tells you what fund these appropriations are being taken out of. So every one of them will have a different
That's
one.
why I was wondering, because I didn't know the general fund had some stuff coming out of it too, but this is to this is the adding money to this fund.
Yes,
Correct. Where's the money coming from?
from lit public safety to those line items within
Okay.
your budget.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which one do you want to take up next? I need Jennifer's.
All right.
What do you need?
Just give me the next one that's on top of Jennifer's pile there. And that'll be 44. Which one do you want to do next? The other one without any unappropriations are gonna be, you have 1170 jail up.
We can get it.
Okay, let's do 1170 jail.
Let's find it.
And it's gonna be 44.
Oh, here we go.
Again?
I don't like this new thing in here. Guess we should have opened these. Yeah,
You have to make copies of that.
I'm telling you, this ain't working too good.
I have too much paper.
Can I open all of these in Word?
Yep.
Give me just a second, we're gonna open them all on here, and then I
I think
can.
you're doing- that's Jennifer's
Make it a little
file
bit easier, I think.
This is questions for sheriff. I stole all yours, but you might want to keep, no, you might want to keep them over there because I already got paper everywhere. Because I got my notes from yesterday, I got my notes from today.
All right, we got three more, is that what you got?
Mhm.
The general fund jail, the lit jail, and lit special purpose.
We should have general, 1, 2, 3, you should have 4 more.
That's fine. And then I'll open them all in Word, that way we can just switch between them.
Good luck. Good luck.
And that thing's been here at every meeting, every one.
Yeah, you're up.
So it's not the sheriff's department that's bringing it, who is it?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Pig pen in here or
It
something?
could be me. I don't know.
Cause they may,
We did the lit.
we're doing, we did the lit, public safety sheriff already.
So I have general jail, general
We need 1170 jail.
jail.
Is it not casting?
I will get in here, and then I'll just close it for a second while we get all this stuff together. All right, which one are you going to?
1170 lit public safety jail. Should be for a total of $757,386.
We did that. Andrew, your button thing sucks.
Who set this up? You're just gonna cast, smart cast.
Yeah, I can get it to old one.
It should be simple. I spent 5 hours yesterday doing this. It should be simple. It's the technology.
So great, isn't it? Amy's like, no. That.
Cannot connect.
Why? Do I have to use it now?
Is Bluetooth not connected?
Maybe I have to use this thing, I don't have a choice.
You got it back. Here's your time.
Tap is connected to the device. Plug the tap into your computer and tap the button. All right. Okay. There we go.
All right, I think we got it figured out now. Sorry,
I like it black. Look at you.
I did that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So same concept. This one is the lit public safety going to the jail portion for the quarter 3, 4, and the agreement for the jail commander, part-time jailers, and your jailer operators. It was originally already out of this order, so there's no changes or no retractions from it, just adding the second half plus the agreement. I'd entertain a motion to accept ordinance 2025-44 to move from lit public safety to the 2025 budget.
I'll make a motion.
John Lisby with the motion, Jonathan White with the second. Any questions or comments on this one? All in favor of these moves? 6-0 on that.
Let's do the special purpose jail.
How fast that was.
Pretty good now.
It took forever while you were gone. I was in here fighting. You left me hanging. Same concept here. Lit special purpose. It's obviously the local income tax simply for the jail. These are the changes for quarter 3, 4, and the agreed order. And entertain a motion to accept on ordinance 2025-45.
Is there a second page to this?
Miller with the motion, Collins with the second. Any questions or comments on this one?
Got it, I got it.
You got it on
It's just not on my copy, that's fine.
Oh,
All in favor, signal.
I probably have
Any
it.
opposed, same sign. White, you in or out? I didn't see yours.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had 6-0 on this one. The only thing I don't think you originally asked for
Yeah,
on this
I
one,
just
Sheriff,
didn't have my
was,
second
see that
page.
bond,
Oh,
on
my-
the bottom lease rental bond?
is that?
Yours
The
is.
bond went up
Mine-
$500 that we
mine
had
was
to pay, so we
process.
added that in there. It went from
What is it?
215.5 to 216 on the second payment, right,
What's
for the
that?
bond payment.
Yes, that
So that's
500
why it's
was
in there.
our mistake.
So,
240, okay, so.
Is there a
The
sign
bond
page?
changed
On
the
the back
first
of
of
the
the year, but it's at the middle of the year.
And it's kind of weird, it goes up this payment, one more, and then it goes back down
Back
again,
down.
so
Now we start with the
we may change
appropriations.
a time or two. Where we go?
What you got next?
General fund jail.
General fund jail?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
And this one's the first one that has something repealed, and so the repealed portions are listed up there, which is different than what I got here. Why is that not the same as what I got?
Because you pulled up the old one, that's the new one. We had actually, this is the one I had, emailed Jennifer about, because we actually appropriated $2,600 out of to longevity.
So this
And
is-
the agreed order was only 2,000. Same with, overtime comp.
Sorry, here we go. We're back in white though.
She had 0, yeah, there you go. That was the only error I found today.
Well, there was another one.
As big as I
I
can.
think we fixed 2 of them, maybe.
Only
So-
gave one.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
2-on-1
Yeah.
ordinance.
So this is out of the general fund, which originally nothing was budgeted in that, so we had to add things in to make the balances equate. The repealed amount on longevity was 2,600. The repealed amount on overtime comp save was 7,500 for a total of 10,1 that was repealed from original ordinances and then added into the amount requested. So I would entertain a motion to accept on 2025-46.
I'd make a motion to accept it.
White with a motion, Justin Cheatham with a second, because he ain't had very many. Any questions or comments from the council? The only question I would have, Sheriff, on the longevity, I know the agreement's for 2,000, but with the matrix, what will we do with that now?
Whether it be some like Doug, Harold, you know what I'm saying, it'd be different.
He's the only one that gets that.
Yeah.
Why does he get it?
Even with
Always-
this, is
always been
he
on the
in the
side.
matrix or no?
Mm-mm.
He's
No,
not.
him and Toby is paid, you know what I'm saying, 60% of my pay.
Which
So
is
that's-
in this agreement,
yeah.
right? But Toby don't
They
get
don't get
comp,
comp time.
but Toby don't get.
No.
Is there like an
Doug-
ordinance or something, or?
Well, Doug has
It's always
been
been
here
down.
longer.
True.
Yeah.
That's because he had been here forever.
Just a question.
And this, and this jail commander thing's changed back and forth because of the misdemeanor fund and.
Yeah, he
misdemeanor fund and all
was
that
paid
stuff,
out
So
of
it's kind of a,
14 different buckets. So
yeah, so
I
that's.
just, it was
one thing.
just a question.
No, and what I was gonna ask is this, we got all these numbers, of course, we haven't seen them yet, you know what I'm saying, this is the first time we've seen them, so really, we gotta sit down, and, well, I'm not saying anything's wrong, don't take, but we've not had a chance to look at these yet, so it makes sense, so,
And here in a second, I can pull up like where all of this was put into your budget. We'll put it up here and then you can see what you spent to date out of lines and then what you have left in those lines.
And there are a couple funds that Jennifer and I found when I went through the math with, we sat down for about 4 hours yesterday afternoon and went through it. There were several funds that I found the math was off and that we still need to do just a little bit more appropriations. You know, for instance, medical and dental, I think we still needed 19,000 in that line. So we'll, I mean, there's money in that line, obviously, but to meet that agreed order amount, there were some errors that I saw yesterday that I have a list of that we're going to advertise for to do the rest of the appropriation in August. And I think there were just a few of those.
And I think for tonight, I mean, we can just sort of presume that your numbers are correct and let you do what you need to do.
I went to law school like you did, so
Yeah.
there'd be no math, and I evidently do a lot of math around here, and I
And
don't.
I'll let them do the math, and if there's a problem.
That's why I met with him yesterday for about an hour and her for about 4 hours to try to make sure that we were getting.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that everybody's clear. I think my big thing was, let's make sure if we've appropriated out of one fund, we're releasing that appropriation, because now we're appropriating the whole amount out of a different fund. So that was a lot of too, of just making sure, what have we already appropriated? What do we need to unappropriate?
and I get that, and I appreciate it, I'm not arguing with that.
No, no.
All thing I say is if we get this and we get a chance to sit down
Yeah.
with the calculator, because like, I'm not real good at math, I know Amy is, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, I can give Amy, I'll also,
Yeah.
just so you'll have the numbers, Amy, I'll go through the list of what I found that needs to be done in August that Jennifer and I talked about. That way you can add that into your calculation. Okay, that's gonna be,
Switch the payroll too, because you're changing lines, so.
yeah, we're gonna have to change them to general.
That's why I say there's a lot of stuff that's changing that we just don't have time to sit down and figure out, which, not, so we're not saying it's wrong, but just,
Well, when
that just know we may come back and say, hey, listen, this wasn't.
All
Yeah.
right, so
Yeah, we'll work through it, and if there's a problem, we'll let you
Yeah,
know.
motion on the floor with a second. Questions answered. Any other questions or comments on ordinance 2025-46? All in favor of this one? 6-0. It's down.
Okay.
Where am I going now?
Where do you want to go now? What you got, Jen?
Last I got 1,000 general fund for the sheriff's department.
General fund sheriff, 1,000 sheriff, and that's gonna be 47.
Try to just slide it down so we can see it. Again, these are the, it's on ordinance 2025-47, but general fund, third and fourth quarter, and the agreed amount. There's no repeal because there was originally nothing in general. These things have been put in there to bring it to what it,
Wait a minute, that's not the right one. So there should be repealed amounts.
all right.
You should have one that looks like
Look at that.
this. Look at this.
You're all killing me here.
Where'd you get that one?
Out of here.
There, we've got two of them.
It's the same thing, I think,
It is.
but it doesn't have.
It should have 3 columns.
Yeah, that one's
That
not.
one ain't it. That one ain't it. This is what you just sent me at 6:05 PM. Show all 6 attachments. Is there another one we're missing? What's this one?
1,000, yours should be in 1,000 general. Sheriff.
There we go.
There you
Looks
go.
better to everybody.
Yeah, this is the example I used where Sheriff Gooden had already had half of his pay out of 1170. So we're just unappropriating, we're repealing the 2025 budget as to those lines and the ordinance for the second quarter to get back that 54 out of that fund, and then taking the whole amount of his salary out of the general fund. Does that make sense?
I thought he agreed to work for half.
It makes sense. Things often make sense in my head that don't make sense in everybody else's head. So,
Try to slide it in there.
yeah.
Never hurts to try.
I know, right? But I know it's probably clear as mud to most things, but some of this is court-ordered stuff that was repealed. Some of it's stuff that was in original budgets, but that's all of what was originally there and then what we had to change to make it equate the current outlay. If no questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion on ordinance 2025-47. John Lisby has made a motion to accept. Miller with the second. All in favor? 6-1.
Amy,
Yes, ma'am.
when you start going through these numbers, I have very diligent notes about, because some of these, like, for instance, the software, we only appropriated 815 out of general because 10,000 was appropriated somewhere else. So that might be hard for you to track down where those other appropriations, but when I sat down with Jennifer yesterday, I have copious notes of here's what was already appropriated out of where, and so we can make sure you find, where the money is that you need to take it out of. 47.
When we go back to the screen again, we'll have to.
I'm moving something. It's working.
We have the last one, right, Jennifer? What's the last? That was it?
I think that's it.
Unless you've got,
No, I'm sitting here going, do I have another? I don't have another one.
yeah.
Okay. So here's,
That's that on those.
do you have a piece of paper, Beverly?
Amy,
Sorry.
you need
Do you want to
to-
call her Beverly? Amy Beverly?
Mhm.
So I show that we still, need $33,050 out of the general fund for uniforms, 5,000 out of the general fund for overtime, jail, $24,038.46 out of 1114 for institutional supplies.
What was that figure again?
I'm sorry,
28,000.
$24,038.46. And then, $19,800 out of 1117 for medical and dental.
You mean 1170?
What'd I say, 1117?
Yeah.
Well, I better put that right on mine because I will forget. Thank you. And then $430 out of 1114 for uniforms. And then we talked about an additional 30,000 for HIV out of the general fund, right? So those will all be advertised, because they were, when I did the math yesterday with Jennifer, that's what I came up, that they were short appropriations for in each of those lines. So we're gonna advertise them and do them in August. And then we asked about
I'll
longevity.
try to stay out of everybody's way, but most of us have seen this. This is a location budget, so that's what I was telling you before. Like on utilities, that's one that we moved some of it back to lit special purpose to make that account. So we originally had 225 in there for utilities. This is what was moved to lit special purpose because that's what we had already spent. So that's why that line's there in general. Same way with all of these. So if you look at, here's your total appropriation on each line. And then this is what your unspent balance is on each line. And we can scroll through it as you want.
Do they had the loud training on the new,
No,
okay,
and
I think
we
that's
will
gonna
get
help.
there, yes.
But
it will.
it starts in general fund and goes through all of your funds, but pretty much, I think a lot of them are pretty squared up.
Is that the location, is that on, getting?
Wow. that
It's on
line.
loud.
Yeah.
And you don't have loud.
I have it, but we haven't
Not been
done.
trained yet.
So this
She's not been
is,
trained.
this should be a snapshot that Jennifer sees of your budget and how we see it to know what's.
Right. Here's my question on this is if you can, Jennifer, can you just snapshot this and send it to us?
She can.
Yeah.
She can print you a copy.
If you want to, I think tomorrow I'll have some time. Of course, I got a commissioner meeting tomorrow night, so we know that's gonna be a good one.
Oh, what am I gonna miss?
If you want to, tomorrow or Thursday, I can sit down with you, we'll print them all off, what you have, and we'll go through there and make sure everything looks good.
How different is it gonna be from what you gave?
Was this, when did you get that one?
618?
Oh, it's probably gonna be
Much different, yeah.
Much different.
Okay, so I just wanna print this again that
We'll
way.
print, yeah, we'll print new ones.
Eventually, you should be able not just be trained on loud, but we have an add-on now where the department heads are being trained,
To do your invoices.
that they can go in and do their invoices.
I mean, I have all that, but I don't have the training.
Yes. sir.
Yeah.
That's what, but when we get that, you'll be able to see
That's
real
what's
time,
spent.
you'll know then
That's what's
immediately
available.
how.
I think that'll make it much better, especially knowing what you have in there.
A little over halfway through.
They were talking, so we're roughly halfway through the year. That's what the agreed order is.
Yes.
That's what's been spent. That's what's available. And each line, how it breaks down.
Right, yeah.
So
So she needs a copy of all this. Okay.
Yes.
They have.
But
Like I
You-
said,
is there any particular lines you guys want to look at or?
I just kind of need you to make a determination on our repairs and maintenance for the jail. Because somebody needs to decide what we're supposed to do.
So this is equipment, this is in the road budget or your, I guess deputy side is what I
Sure.
kinda call it. So if we go to the jail, your equipment repair and maintenance right now is negative 15,000. Cause there was 30 requested, we've spent 45, 148.
Well, we started sending the bills like you told us to Eric, but he didn't have the money, I guess, so.
I don't know where that came from to send them to Eric, I don't remember saying that.
Because he was the head of maintenance and that's.
What I told you to do.
Well, I don't think we have the authority to tell them to send it anywhere. I think that's the commissioners, yeah. We don't have the authority. I think there was a discussion about
Was it in a meeting?
the concern, right?
We know when? Like,
Yeah.
come back and look at it?
Matthew, I think addressed, and I'm sorry, I just had to skim through your email, but
Yeah, it was addressed back in.
was there a vote on it? That's what we're gonna do, or the
There was-
commissioners do
There was
that?
not a vote, but there was a discussion, and again, that's in, on this.
Yeah, but that's not how government works. We can't make that change. We can just say we would prefer.
Well, when
Then
they
the bills
decided
go there,
we were
so the
doing it,
bills-
They gave us $150,000 to pay for all the repairs.
Uh-huh.
That was put to 30 because we didn't think we were doing it. It was just for,
We just needed the
In
30,000
case of an
for
emergency.
case, and all the rest of the bills would be sent to Eric to be paid. That's the reason why we just needed 30,000.
No, I think the problem is that we were getting 2024 bills in May of 2025. I think that was the discussion and making sure the bills got to the right place, not that they got paid from.
In May.
Well, why don't you,
That's up for, I've talked to Zach about it. That's his, yeah, I don't think that's something the commissioners are gonna have to deal with because the
That's the reason
commissioners
why-
are being expected to pay it out of their budget. I mean, we don't have any money to pay it, so. And we bargained for 4.491. We can't give a penny more or less. And we bargained,
We don't want no more.
we bargained on that based on the fact that everything was gonna be run as the way it should. So I think if your position is, that's the commissioner's building and they're gonna pay for that, then you're gonna have to take it up to the
So
commissioners.
that was what we discussed in the negotiations, part of the negotiation stuff, so that's.
We never discussed it. Zach and I have had extensive talks about, we assumed everything was gonna keep running the way it was.
You assume?
well,
Well, why would we not?
Again, I
It's
sent,
supposed
well,
to be run the same way it's always been run,
I
for
sent-
$500,000 more.
I sent the email to you and Zach today. Why don't you take a look at it? and
Okay.
Just get back with me.
He was in a TPR trial, so we've talked about briefly, but we're gonna sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, sit down and talk about it and we can get that sorted out.
Okay.
And if not, we can
Yeah, what was the,
mediate it. but-
okay. Yeah, let me and Zach get together on it, because he was on the trial.
Come to a consensus tonight on this, so.
Yeah, what was the other thing? We talked about contractual services. I have a note here, contractual service, the agreed order was 15,000. And we've already appropriated 25,000, so we need to unappropriate 10,000. But we were looking at what was spent on that.
I do not have a location budget.
Okay, well, that's okay, we can go back over it
Do we
later.
know which fund that's on?
And then, no, I don't have it done. I think the more concerning to me was, in 1114, the agreed order is for $30,000 in equipment, but 45,000's been spent to date.
That's the repairs.
Is some of it,
Is
is that the maintenance? Okay, okay, let me make myself a note then, because if I don't, I'll get confused. Maintenance. So we're considering equipment, building maintenance, right?
It's equipment, the way it was put to me is it's equipment repairs and maintenance.
Equipment repairs and maintenance, okay. Okay,
You had said something about you want to move some of that negative office supplies to the
oh yeah, we need to do,
roadside, right?
Yeah, whatever, Amy, who'd you send that to?
I didn't.
That's
send
it.
he sent it to me. We need to
I
do a
sent-
resolution to
Okay.
transfer whatever he's over in the jail office supplies to and transfer, what he's over from the sheriff's office supply. Because I think you have much more in the sheriff, right?
That's the reason why I said we need to get the numbers that you guys give us and we go home and sit down and figure them up and
Yeah.
do our math on them. That way we can come back. 'Cause we can't give you an intelligent answer because we don't know what
Exactly.
we're dealing from.
In your,
I know.
behind
I'm
you,
feeling.
just,
Yeah.
I get your point. Behind you, about halfway down that screen, office supplies and would be your deputy side, county general. You're looking at about 10,437 currently in that account. Then I'm gonna scroll down, move that a little bit. We go down here to 1114, which is the lit special purpose. The office supplies is right here where the cursor is. That's the one it's only negative $1,655. So So if you wanted to transfer some of that cost, I think we could probably get that done for you.
And I guess this too is illustrative of why it is so important to get the bills in and get them paid out, because when we're looking here, if that invoice isn't, been processed, then it looks like you have, 29,000 in a fund when really we have 40,000 of
Right,
outstanding bills.
let me ask this
So,
question here
we
too,
gotta
and this
get-
is something, we just need to get it down and down.
Sure,
Okay,
I agree.
we send the bills over just like we're supposed to. They're,
Over to here.
yes, we send them over here. Jennifer will tell you that. We sit down with Jennifer and we talk to her, on a regular basis, okay? So then something happens that they get changed. I don't know what happens. Jennifer can explain
Man,
that.
fund
but-
numbers have changed all over
There.
because of this, and I think Mandy and Amy are working together to get them, but what Amy sends over was maybe good last month, but we've changed it here, and that's why I want to get this solid before we do any training on the
Right.
LAO, because that's just gonna make it a
Yes.
nightmare for Amy.
That's what I'm saying. That's where we're coming up with some issues is that we're getting different fund numbers. We're sending them over in this fund and then when they get over here, they get changed. We have no idea that they've been changed. But we do get together and try to hash it out, but it's hard to see the future when you're
Yes.
doing that.
No, I
Well,
agree.
this, I think I think just even the printout from Lao is gonna help you see exactly, because it'll tell you what fund it's in and what's been appropriated out of those funds, what you have left in the fund, where you're over. I mean, but this is what these guys look at when they're determining, hey, can we do an appropriation? Well, we obviously can't appropriate anymore out of your jail office supply because we show it's overrun. But, the problem, I think last year came in where we said, okay, well, he's got $29,000 there in institutional supplies. Sure, we'll do this
Yeah, we're
additional
good. And
appropriation.
that's fine. I
But
get
then we
that.
get 60,000 worth of bills in June of 2025,
That's what I'm trying to tell you is this, we're following the rules that is set for us. So that's why when you keep saying that we gotta get these over here, we gotta get these over here, we got these bills, like, it sounds like you're saying that Amy's sending them over late and she's not. She's sending them over when she's exactly supposed to. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Does that make sense?
Hey,
Well, it makes sense what you're telling me, but it's not jiving with the facts that I have here, that a bunch of bills were
Let me ask you
dumped on
this,
December 31st.
They were dumped on December 31st because I was asked not to send them over because she wanted to make sure she had enough money for payroll. So I did what the auditor asked me to do.
Okay.
And
Well,
then I said,
I'm gonna say
"Yeah."
neither here nor there.
Right.
Let's try to work better in the
Hold on.
future and
No, I get
understand
that.
each other.
We've got to come
and
up
not
with a
get to there.
standard to do that. And
Yeah.
I think the LAO program hopefully will do that.
Yes,
let
and I
me
think it's
step in
gonna be
on
good
that,
when we
if-
can
if you're
do
willing.
the update.
I'll own some of it. Some of it I'll say I should be better at communicating, which I started. I sent an email with you guys, make sure you're invited tonight to be here because I want to work through this. Would you be okay with me communicating with Amy about this LAO? Like if I have a question, send her an email, we can copy you on it, whatever, because I don't think to cut you out in any way, shape or form, but
She keeps me informed anyway. I know exactly. That's the reason why it was frustrating to us because, and we talked about it with Jennifer. Jennifer knows this. We're not trying to.
no, I'm not trying to point fingers.
No,
at
no, and I'm
anybody.
not either.
I
I'm
want
not
to
either.
move past this
We've
and
got
get to a
to.
point where
It's gotten to the point of being ridiculous.
where
You know what I'm saying?
there's a point that we can communicate. And I think me and Amy Beverly have a decent working relationship. If you're okay with it, I'll open a line of
Absolutely.
communication.
Absolutely.
Let's try to fix some of this and
Absolutely.
we'll include Jennifer's office in it. I was of the understanding everybody was using LAO, so that's my
We're
fault.
not there yet.
That's my fault. So when I had questions, this is where I was
That's a little
coming
hard when
from.
you're using apples and she's using oranges.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I'm trying to say. That's the reason why I would say whenever you're saying it's sent over late, it's like, no, it's not.
Okay.
We could put-
You know what I'm saying? It's being sent over when it's supposed to, but it's just coming out of different funds.
And I don't know
and-
when there's changes
I
either.
just thought that was very-
Heather,
Well, and we also
And
have
that's
an
fair.
ordinance tonight that I think is gonna
So,
help that. I think that's.
we're
Jennifer
going-
Wants to do.
I just want to
Yes, sir.
I'll own, I'm an ownership kind of person and some of the communication problem is mine. I own it. And if you're willing, I'll open up a
'Cause we've already been
line
doing
of
it.
communication
Exactly, yes.
and let's work through it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you're right, it's getting ridiculous and I feel like every question that anybody asks, there's an underlying problem and that's not right. You should be able to ask a question about your budget and I give you a truthful answer and same, I ask and we get the answer and we all move on. So I'm willing to do that today forward because I'm tired of wasting taxpayers' money
I
on
totally agree.
abilities. So I'll own whatever I'm responsible
We
for and
will
move
too.
forward.
I mean, we've been trying to we've been trying to get along to what we need to.
Okay.
We're gonna continue to do that.
Cool. January is a new leaf then.
So when is she gonna be?
So-
Yes. The only thing I was gonna add, Heather, was, I had addressed that the office supply thing in my
Did you?
June 27th email.
Oh, yeah,
It
you
was
said-
a couple times.
You said to transfer, right?
Transfer, yeah,
Yeah.
at the time, it was 618427.
So you just need a transfer request for that, Jennifer? That office supplies to take
What
it?
was,
Or do you
I'll go
need
back
a-
through my email, make sure it's the
claim form?
appropriate amount.
Yeah, I'll send her a transfer.
Just a transfer to take it out of the
Cause I show he's
jail
over
instead of
1655.86 as of today.
I need to
because
get
supplies are
You see
supplies
down
and it
there?
all goes in a closet and if somebody needs a pen, it don't, well, you only work.
So what he
in
wants to
jail.
do is transfer money
I'm
from
gonna ask
his,
State Board of Council
See what they
next
say.
what he wants to do
Yeah.
is transfer money from his sheriff's, office supply line to cover the overage in the jail office supply line. If I
That-
took your email correctly, right?
That is correct. The number that I had though was 618427 that you had given me originally, so it looks like that may have gone up.
But I think he's only over
Yeah, he's only over
$1,655.
1655, so I think we're good.
We're
So
not,
we're good to transfer.
We
we're
just
not
need to
taking out a
transfer
loan here
16.
for $1,600
Right.
bucks, so let's just get a transfer and move on to the
16.
next problem.
Yeah,
Jennifer, can you-
there was 15 on the other side.
Yeah.
So,
There's 10 on the other side, but
Okay, yeah, that's.
Transfer 1655.86 from office supply.
do we want to type up a resolution and get it done while we're here?
Office
We or you?
supply.
I mean, well, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, rather than,
use this.
It's gonna go from.
just saying, rather than
Do you know
her
what
having to
it's-
send
okay,
it, let's just do it.
1655, how much?
1655.86.
Send me a template, I'll fill her out in front of everybody. I ain't
From
scared.
wherever his office supply sheriff is. I
So
don't know
here,
if
I'll
that's in
tell you,
general.
it is in
And
general
into,
county general of 21,000 to
can I
Jail.
transfer from the
1114.
general to the- I can't transfer from the general to the,
No.
Yeah.
I can't transfer between funds. It's still in the same fund.
Now, given permission, we could get claim adjustments and pull it out of one and then put it in another.
Okay, so what do you need for that? A motion
If you want
or
to
a
do that, yes.
resolution or what do you want to do?
I prefer if they do this ordinance tonight to do them by resolution, but I think tonight, since we don't have that, let's just do a motion.
Okay.
So motion for line
And
correction.
then I will send a report on that to you.
What are we calling it?
Paper it
Claim
up, paper
It'll
adjustment?
be a claim adjustment and you're pulling it out of,
So I request a motion for a claim adjustment from county general line item 21,000, which is the sheriff's office supplies, to move, how much we move?
1600.
That amount and then leave it at zero?
1655.86.
So $1,655.86 from general to lit special purpose to shore up that line for office supplies.
I'll make that motion.
John Collins made the motion,
I mean, on the sheriff.
John Lisby with the second. All in favor? 6-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Six and a half
He
over.
said all.
All right, so we got that one taken care of.
Okay.
Is there any other, that's what I was saying in my email, like, is there any
No.
others we can clear up that we need to, or? are
I
we
don't think
good?
so. We have a
I
lot of,
really
on
have
this.
not had enough
Okay.
time to look at this to say that we have it.
Are you willing to come in August and if you need transfers, let's get them done?
They got us.
That fair? That way you got time to look at it. You got time to figure out if we need to move some monies around. August, we'll do whatever transfers are needed.
well, we have a bunch of additional appropriations too.
We
just
already
to
said,
shore up
we already
the-
told him we're gonna take care of those.
Yeah.
So next order of business then. Let's move right along. This is meeting number 2 for the month. What else we got on him?
On
I'm
sheriff?
for a week.
Anything? You got one more.
I don't think we have anything
All
else for the sheriff yet.
Well,
What kind of questions do you guys
Well,
have?
the two issues, I guess, that we had.
Oh, I said
was-
questions, sir. Don't come up with issues. I'm just
A
messing with you. Go ahead.
questionable issue.
All right,
Try to open up.
let's go with number 1.
Well, the first one was Heather and I had some back and forth about the 2024 invoices.
Yeah, I don't know
And
how much they are.
just wanted to be sure that that got cleared up.
And I think there's a lot of confusion with those, and I agree with your
So-
email. There is some confusion, so
I haven't looked at your email thoroughly. I was busy all afternoon, or pretty much all day yesterday and then all day today. So the 2024 yesterday, I asked Jennifer, because there were some appropriations that were made that say 2024. So we know those were the 2024 bills. There are other appropriations that I think she put in lines that had 25 and 24. So I've asked her for a breakdown of those. I think Kinley is working on them or has worked on
is that
them.
what this is?
Yes.
So we have to figure out, but I guess what
What that's showing is when they came
What I will say is we thought we budgeted everything from 2024 already. And then Jennifer came, I think at the last meeting with a $370,000 additional ask. And I think when we negotiated the agreed judgment, first of all, we're almost broke here. Or we got maybe $500,000 left in general, less than 200,000 left in both lits probably.
We're way under that.
We don't have additional $370,000. So trying to figure out where that came from, if some of them were already done, that's gonna be a little bit of a mess to unweave. But what I will also say, just being the lawyer that I am, that I have to defend my client, I think when we negotiated with the thought there were about $240,000 of 2024 bills. It's a lot different when we come up with another 370. So I need to figure out if that 370 was part of the 240, whatever it was that we already appropriated. Do we just need to come up with another 100,000, or do we have to come up with double what we anticipated?
But yeah,
So-
I think what happened was, and this is just off of memory.
Mhm.
We was gonna get an additional appropriation and it didn't get appropriated. They forgot, it was something they forgot to vote on, forgot to advertise, we couldn't advertise.
Maybe it's advertisement issue.
Yeah, it was an advertisement issue, so it never got submitted.
I'm not sure on that.
You see what I'm saying? So that never got passed. So I don't know where that's at. That's why we're gonna have to take those bills, meet them up with.
Well, I know 16 and 17, didn't we do we did two rather large appropriations for 2024 bills. So anyway, I guess my answer is, I'm trying to unravel it because I
Right.
want to make sure.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Because if it is an additional 370 on top of the 200 and whatever thousand, I don't know where we're gonna get it. So we're gonna have to figure, we're gonna have to get creative. Jennifer really's I'm not the money person, so Jennifer's gonna have to get creative. Or we're gonna have to wait to pay him till we can take out a bond.
I'm as ready as the next guy to never hear about 24 again,
And
but
can we close out 24?
Well, why don't
I
you see
think-
where you could get with that?
Yes.
at this point, they're paid in some form
They're
or
paid.
fashion. We don't owe
Yeah,
people.
It's not,
Right.
nothing, the only things that I think are laying there are the last LISO, the K9. And I don't know, there could be, and I don't know if you've worked with Mandy, I know Mandy told me there was one Amazon invoice that we don't have the invoice number that we
We
can
paid
get
it
out.
out of commissary.
Okay, because I was gonna say, that's the only one I have a question.
Because that
She
was
said,
the
I don't
one.
have a way to, I don't have a way to pay it because of that number. It was not because
It was
there's not money.
$98.
Okay, and I don't remember the money,
No.
but now,
I think if there is a vendor knocking down the door, I mean, I don't think I've heard every one of my clients say they don't want anybody going unpaid. So if there's a vendor knocking out the door, we probably need to hear about that. Sometimes Jennifer gets busy, we don't hear about it till the day of a meeting. So if it's between meetings, somebody let JR know, and we'll all get together and talk about and figure out what we're gonna
Honestly,
do about it.
Excuse me, we did that with SNL. We talked.
Yeah.
I talked to Mr. Sebastian. I think I'm trying in good faith to get these things done, but it is hard to follow some of these numbers. I agree with everybody here. So I guess let's dive into this some more.
well, and that's one of the things I want to clarify, because it's not that any of those bills are not paid. It's just that some of those bills were probably paid with the 2025 budget. So we were paying 24 bills in 25.
Yeah, it's not like there's $375,000 we gotta come up with because they've already been paid. The bills have already been paid, so what you're
Just the
saying.
shortness on
Yes.
this
Yeah.
year.
Right. Yes.
But we can't short you on this year
Well,
budget
yeah,
because you have a
because of the
$4.49 million budget.
Right.
You add the extra 370, you're now up to 3.7, 3.8 million, right? So
But
we don't
if
have
that's the
3.7 or
It's gonna
4.7,
have to ride
4.8
until the
million.
bond
So
is approved to put it back.
Well, why don't you figure out what?
I'm working, I'm
what
an
is
attorney,
what,
not a
and we'll-
mathematician.
well, yeah, try to figure out.
My head's about to explode from this week anyways. It's only Tuesday.
I mean, the four issues that I raised in my
You went to
email
Oh,
were.
you was only at 2 a minute ago.
I know the last one you want to talk about.
The
So
2024
Yep.
invoices.
yeah, we'll figure
Um,
So
those.
we're gonna work through those.
The maintenance and the equipment.
We're gonna
I'll talk to
the
Zach because I don't.
commissioners
Talk
about
to
that.
Zach,
Yeah.
and we'll see if that, the easy one was my firm, my accounting folks wrote the fees down to 85, but didn't take the cost off. The flat total for fees and cost is 85,000.
Okay.
So just, if it says 86 something, it's 85.
Okay.
So, and that's what we agreed to.
I hate to say, I had talked to your firm and they explained to me earlier that that was for fees. And I had questioned them, but I had not had time to call back, and that's my fault.
That's fine. And,
That's not clear. But
yeah,
that's not,
and that's, that was an error on our end. So it's just 85 up until the 29th of
I'm
May.
in the
and
wrong business. Are you
Everything
hiring
after
Matt?
that, like for tonight.
Matt, are you guys
And you said
hiring over
something that
there?
You would be, you'll be sending that like in a different kind of invoice, so they'll be determined differently. Did I see something like that?
For the stuff that's, the 85 cap was for 85 fees and costs up through the date that the agreed order was signed by the court,
Okay,
which is May 29th. So anything moving forward from that would be on a different invoice with a different invoice matter number, like post mandate.
Well, and I think that's gonna be another issue for Zach and I. Got
And we
it. I can't take it
Everybody
anymore.
watching this.
I think that's gonna be, okay, number person, attorney, and Nat Killer.
All right.
I think that's gonna be another issue Zach and I are gonna wanna talk about. We just talked about it briefly, and he sort of thought, I think, and I haven't really thought about it because I haven't had time to digest, but, under the mandate action, yes, the county's responsible for everybody's fee, but we're not in the mandate action where we have an agreement, it's settled. So where are those fees gonna come from? So I don't know. I've talked to Zach about that.
There's a provision in the agreed order that it comes to the general fund.
Okay, I'll look at it. And like I said, Zach and I are gonna talk about it a
Yeah,
little bit more, but
and
I
that's
think,
fine, but for tonight, it's
Okay, we'll do that.
85 and
I appreciate that.
well, that money was just appropriated last week, and again, I'm a little bit behind, but we will get that checked.
The last thing was on the K9 and the LSO, for the ammunition. And we would just again request that you maybe reconsider that former decision denying that. There was some talk during the last meeting, and Heather, you brought up that, we had these discussions about asking for permission rather than forgiveness, and we did, and we agree with that sentiment. But the one thing that I would point out, and pointed it out in my letter, is that at the time when those payments were made, if you look at the dates, they're all April, May, and they're all before the agreed order went into effect.
but they're all still in 2025, and I think
But they're
here,
all still in 2025.
and here's, I sent you the statute about appropriations. Those
Right.
funds have to be appropriated, and I know, Sheriff, those are what you call discretionary. The only thing that does not have to come here for appropriation are those items I gave you, the legal education fund, as well as the commissary, if it's within those items. So, when I say this county is broke, we're damn near there. So I think that my clients, when we negotiated 4.49, they swallowed it. They didn't really want to do it. They swallowed it because they wanted to end the matter. They wanted to make sure Sheriff felt that he had what he needed, and that's what you told us you needed. I don't think anybody on this council the rest of the year is willing to go over that. If you want to budget K9 funds, here's what I'm gonna tell you. When we go into budgets for 26, and I even offered to Matt, if Sheriff wants to take $700 out of institutional supplies and unappropriate that, and then take that unappropriated, whatever, and let's put it over in the K9 fund, that's fine.
There's not an issue with that. That's not the issue,
Okay,
period.
but I just need to know, because the exhibits said specifically that you wanted all of that money to come out of those three funds. If you want something to come out of the K9 fund, and it's all gonna be under that 4.49 million, right? But you just tell us you
Well,
want
no, here's-
1,000 of it to come
here's
out of
the- here's
They're
the
K9.
not
issue.
budgeted funds.
They
That's
are
the reason why.
budgeted. They're
I know
budgeted and
I know
appropriated.
your legal thing says that we've never used them, never sheriff before. I came here, never sheriff, other sheriffs don't.
Now,
I know
Sheriff,
what you're saying now.
I don't like just because we've always done it that way, the statute's
I
very
don't say it
clear.
like it either,
It was-
but we can't be playing stump to chump, you see what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to stump
Hold on,
anybody. What I'm
hold on.
trying to say is that
Don't
it has
raise
to
our
be
voices.
budgeted
Let's
and
talk like humans.
appropriated.
But
That's it.
Civil.
Exactly, but what I'm trying to say is this, we understand that. We knew that we had $24,000 in the county.
And you still do.
That's
You
the
still do.
only
Still do.
thing we can use that, period.
You still
So
do.
when we need K9 equipment, like dog food and those things,
Mhm.
okay, we know if we send the bill over here in the K9 fund, it comes strictly out of that K9 fund.
Not if it's
So,
not
but you did
appropriated.
not appropriate it, though. That's what
Correct.
I'm trying to tell you. Why wasn't it not appropriated?
Because
Because if that money was there,
your
and you
total
knew
budget-
we was gonna use it, it should have been
I
appropriated.
might be able to help you with some of it. The claims that I looked at on, like that shed thing you bought, some other things, they were paid to the vendor. Well, the vendor had already been paid, so by law, she has to cut a check to the vendor on
We
that
never got
claim.
anything stating it had been paid. We had told it was not paid.
No, I'm saying when I called it, which was just, I didn't never
But
see
we
it
went
till
ahead and
last
paid it
month,
out of
You did.
commissary.
which would have then been a
Because-
request for a reimbursement.
So
That
we-
was never told to us. It was told that the claim was pending. If we would have appropriated that fund that night in the vote, she would have had to cut the shed guy another check for that much money. Then you would either had a credit there or have to figure out how to get your money back. So that was some of the,
I agree with that.
again, I think it's a communication error. I think it
agree.
is something that we could work through moving forward. But I do agree that X amount of dollars have to be appropriated. So maybe dog food example, if you know you spend $1,000 a year in dog food, maybe at budget time, or if you ask for an additional out of that fund, we could appropriate, dog.
That's not a problem, you know what I'm saying?
put a
That's
line in that.
in the
fund.
budget.
And I think
In
the other
budget.
discussion was that the agreement is a total of 4.49 million.
For this year,
We didn't
yes.
care if this year, I don't think it cared if it came out of general K-9 fund, Let's Go fund, the firearm fund. They didn't care where you took it, as long as it was appropriate to come out of that fund.
Mhm.
And the total amount was 4.49. So
Okay.
you have 4.49 appropriated
Mhm.
out of that exhibit you gave me. And what I said to Mr. Tarkington is, if you need $1,000 for dog food, either take it out of one of the lines appropriated, or you gotta give up $1,000 and then take it out of K-9 to still equal 4.49 out of every fund. And they are budgeted and appropriated, and I
Well, see,
we gotta do that next year.
I totally agree with you, but you can't come in at second quarter of the game and say, we're changing this rule.
I've said this the whole time.
Well, but I'm
Sheriff.
just telling you, why wasn't it budgeted then? Because we was told, you know what I'm saying, that they were discretionary funds, you know what I'm saying?
And I agree.
I
that
know,
don't
I
like-
haven't told you that. We said they needed to be budgeted. I don't know where
like
the
that either.
And I don't
miscommunication.
I don't like
disagree
that we
with what you're
pay
saying. I don't,
payroll out
but
of
I'm telling you.
SRO fund. I think it should be cleaned up. And I've talked to Jennifer about that. I think we as a county or as a council should work at doing better. And I think we could learn from this and do better. But no one here is trying to punish a deputy, a dog, nothing. I think our agreement is, it was hard for us to even agree to 4.4 because we know we don't have it and we're gonna have to get it.
Well, and
But I
I
think
think
that
part
was
of it,
the
you didn't know the
agreement.
funds existed either. You didn't know
At
all
one
these
point,
funds
no, we didn't.
Well, see,
existed.
that's what I'm trying to tell you is
Because
this.
they've been used
It
wrong.
got
for years.
changed in the middle of the game. Okay, we've been following the rules the whole time. We've been submitting reimbursements and
Well, I
stuff
think
because
it-
that's the name of the game. It's
I
what we've
think
been
it
doing for years.
Created rules that somewhere along the line, not
That
you,
happened.
but
This is
somebody.
long before I got it.
Sure, I agree.
There's been a lot of things that's been done, and we continue to do them, that we're fixing as we go. But you're right, we need communication and
I agree
working
with you.
together, and just saying, oh, well, we're not doing that anymore, and then you're hanging. That's not
Yeah,
right.
and
So
then we
that's
get the
just
bill back saying you can't do that because we didn't. Well, okay, then tell us that before we do it. You
And
know
we
what I'm
got
saying?
vendors
That's the
Well,
thing.
and that's
now
where
that have been
forgiveness
double
rather than
paid
permission.
and
Just
have-
No, it's
came
not
in
because
right.
we've been doing it for the
Crazy.
last 7
But
years.
I don't know that. How am I supposed to know what you've been doing for the last
These
75 years? I just know how it's supposed to legally be done, I guess. So that's where the
fine. We want
communication
to do it
comes in.
that way. We want to do it.
That's where the communication comes in. I have no idea who it's been doing
Right,
that
and
way.
we want to do it that way. We
We
want to
do
do it.
paper
Well,
service,
it is that way.
or we do sex offenders, or we do our LISO sales and all of that. Those are non-taxpayer dollars that we have used for years to help pay bills. Because we don't budget, you can't budget them, you don't know how much you're gonna get in.
And I agree with that.
You know,
I
it
just
just
think
depends on the
in order to
month.
meet the requirement that should have been happening before some of us were ever even dreamed of putting our name on a ballot, we did it wrong. And I'm saying is let's work together and figure out how to do it right.
Well, I
Well,
understand.
if that's gonna be the rule, then
the
put us a
difficult-
rule in that we have to send you something stating, we need these bills paid out of these funds, because we don't have control
Well, I think that,
over any of that stuff. We don't know how much is coming in.
yeah, I think that's the difficulty when you talk about
The K-9
budgeting,
was
right?
funds raised for a specific, to get another dog and to fully equip it. We had no idea that we couldn't use it to pay because that's what the people donated it for. It's like our narcotics detective.
Which I got
Well,
I
here-
got a
Morgan
problem with that one
Foods,
too.
Morgan Foods pays 100% of the narcotic, yes, they do, young lady.
For 2 years?
No,
Have
no,
you gotten payments?
we have not had a deputy in there.
Okay.
We've had issues. They
And-
pay
But
it
somebody's been
one
getting
hundred
paid out of
percent.
that.
I don't know who she's paying.
On the. I
Yeah,
don't know.
somebody's getting
I
paid
don't
out of
either.
that, but there's no
And
invoice.
that's
We
what
got
I-
the
just-
documentation.
We
That's
just
it.
put
Well, then
Johnny
let's
Coomer
look
back
at
in there,
Okay.
and we're trying to get the figures from her for him to take to Morgan's, but that's another one. We
I mean,
don't budget that. They
at one
pay
point,
We send it to them once a
100%
year,
it.
they send us.
Well, it's
the check.
budgeted and appropriated for this year out of the
Is
narcotics.
there a
Well,
way
it's
to get
supposed to
a
be.
contract?
This is, again,
This was.
This
where
was
the money-
done before.
I agree,
was
but
here.
moving forward, how do we fix it?
All I gotta do is tell Morgan to send us a contract.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And then
Have
we
no
got a
issue
set
with that.
number, and then we can tell you, you know what you get, we know how to budget it, and we all agree. Seem fair?
I totally agree with that. See, that's the issue. That's the way it should have been done.
I
But it's
agree.
never been done that way. And then all of a sudden we keep doing what we think is the right thing because it's always been done that way. It was approved that way. State Board of Accounts comes in and says it's okay that way. And then all of a sudden halfway through the game, then it changes. It's like, we don't know the rule
All
change.
contracts have to go to the commissioner.
But, and that's fine, we'll send it to them,
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying,
we'll
though.
beg them to
So
pass
that's
it.
it.
But I think moving forward, we communicate, we fix it, and if something comes up that's wrong, it ain't wrong, and I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, I'm just saying the way we did it wasn't right. And it's not your fault, maybe, it's not Jennifer's fault, maybe, and it's maybe not our fault. We all just want to do what's correct, I think, in this whole room.
I don't think there's anybody here who wants anything wrong.
No,
Can I
And
address
so
Amy's budget issue
we,
about
but I know for a
the
fact,
the
Paul
discretionary
Clute was
funds
paid as
available?
that
We don't have any
narcotics guy, and then
control
this
over
guy.
what goes in
I
them.
mean,
We just get a
paid
percent
people
of
out there.
things each month.
So
And then that's what.
maybe a
builds up.
contract to fix
That's
that
it.
whole problem.
Well, like on the agreed
Sound
order,
fair?
I think
Yeah.
we could have said, okay, the
I know
budget's
what
gonna be
You got a
4.8,
contract on SROs too.
We do.
3.8 million, and then, or
Yeah, he has-
4.49 million.
You were-
This amount
you
will be
were here when we
appropriated,
entered
these will be
it.
through
Those are your
these
first
other
official
funds
contract.
as
Like
needed,
your
or
first
something,
year,
you
I
know?
think, wasn't it?
So maybe, I'm trying to think ahead to
We don't
26.
have enough usually gun those funds. We used to get gun permits, we don't get that fund anymore. We'll get accident reports, get people get
Fingerprints.
paid. It's not something it's a standard, you get this every month.
Well, when it comes to budget time, let's be a little creative. Like, we know that you have 29,000 in the K-9 fund. Let's figure out how you want to budget that out and
So that's
Just-
not an issue. That's what we need.
just try to keep it, I think, under,
I
you
think
know, if we say this
there's
is what we're gonna do, then
ton
we'll
of
have to be a
stupid
little less
budgets
in other
this county
areas.
that I would love, or funds, not budgets, I'm
Yes.
sorry. But there's a ton of, I don't want to say stupid, that's not fair, but there,
They're
There's an
homework
excessive
funds.
amount of
Yes.
funds.
and I would love at the end of my term, if nothing else happens, to clean that mess up for whoever in the world walks into this, because
That's commissioner.
it is so hard to figure it out. And I don't care to sit with somebody, go through a list of them. I did one time, what did I tell you? It took me 3 hours, I think, to look at them. Like, it's absurd. They're all in WOW, and you can see what's in them, but some of them are from 2015, 2009, things like that. So I think we could clean that mess up, make that look better, and it will eliminate some of this confusion.
Well, a lot of them have an Indiana code as well. There's some of those that if things go in, we don't even have access to those. But they're being counted,
Well,
they're.
once you
Like
once
which
you
one?
get trained on WOW, or if you want, I'll come sit with you on a Friday when I'm off work and show you how to work it. You can see every one of them, and you can pull it up. You can look at a cash ledger on there, and you can see what's been in it years back and where the money came from, a receipt. I mean,
Well, when
it's
I first
it's
come
decent.
over, he and I sat down and looked up codes.
Yeah.
So we would know what we could use those for. At no time were we ever told it had to be.
Okay.
It was even approved by the State Board of Accounts. That's what I'm saying. That's
I have no
that's
faith
why-
in them.
Well, I
I've
mean,
worked
there's-
with them, you know.
You know,
They've audited a lot of people that have come up now and in
there's a
prison,
sheriff
so
in prison who said that things were good.
I
So
can't say that name, so.
there's
You know,
problems.
no, about that.
But, and I mean, hell, we've begged them for help and you ain't seen them here, so. Anyway,
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
About the Morgan Foods, I talked to John's secretary, I can't remember her first name, I'm kind of embarrassed, but very common, but she acted like that Morgan's match when it first started possibly was a 3-year, which what might have made sense because our first.
Morgan's match is
Is
this
it annual?
side.
Because she,
It's
she
the
seemed to
county
think that it was
side.
every 3 years.
It's the
that they
county
paid.
side. It's
Well, I
not.
think the confusion is that we've received no income into that fund, but somebody's
Well,
been being paid out of the fund.
We had somebody, he left, they put somebody else in, he's been moved,
Too.
so that leaves funds,
And the vast majority of that's reimbursement, because what we will do is
not
we
the
will
Morgan's
send,
one.
well, on the back end it is, because the county has to pay for one too.
Yeah,
That's the stipulation. That's the stipulation.
So it's not just Morgan Food, we have to
So
pay for
It's a
two.
match, yeah, with the county.
No, we pay for one, they pay for one, that
Yes.
was the deal.
Okay,
And the deal is that we had to keep a detective to keep one. And I know it's sounds complicated. We was doing it and it would be confusing unless you know what's going on. I
Yeah.
understand.
And it was-
I'll talk to Morgan. so
it
we
was
get a
here before
contract.
you, so I mean,
Right.
it
Yeah, you
isn't,
were the,
it isn't your fault. So,
you were the first man.
well, there's your problem. It's my fault.
I'll second
It's my favorite.
Problem solved.
All in favor?
I got I got big shoulders. Well, look, you got rid of me, so you saving money.
It's
Well,
just,
Ray,
it's
he's
just
happy.
too complicated.
All right, either way, I think in all fairness, irregardless, because if we didn't have a contract with Morgan's and Circle K decides they want to pay for a deputy, it's not fair to make them write a contract and not be equal. So if we're doing it for one, we should do it for another.
Well,
And
they do pay
if
for
it's-
their own security. We do not send a deputy.
No, I
to
agree.
sit at
Yes,
Morgan's.
I agree. And I know that. Everybody else may not.
I think
That's
it's always a
point.
good idea to have some
It's
idea
just-
of liability, what's expected for the money. I mean, they might not be expecting anything personally for their business, but what is gonna be expected of the deputy and what they're paying for and what they're
I think
getting.
John just wanted drugs off the street.
Okay,
He was
and that's,
willing to pay for
it's a good move.
We all
I'm
like
not
that.
mad at it. I just think we should cover all of ourselves for
Yeah.
paperwork because
And
ultimately you're gonna walk out the door next year. Somebody else is
Somebody
gonna
else
come
is
in,
gonna walk in,
whoever
still
that
gonna
is,
be there.
still gonna be a problem.
Well, that's
So
probably the
at
institutional
least
knowledge.
we can
piece,
say we
right?
fixed it. Sound fair?
So then there'll be a whole other set of problems because you have
Mr.
an
Issue, what
institutional
other you
knowledge that
got?
I don't have. and
You
then
done closed
new
the
person
folder.
won't
You
have
might
any
be
of
done.
that.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, that's,
attorney.
those are the four that we had.
All right.
The attorney's fees, the
Ain't got
24.
When I get a
invoices.
space to breathe, I will thoroughly read your email, but I have not had that the last 2
And
days.
then, you know, again, we just request that you reconsider that decision based on the fact that those monies were donated from the public for the purpose that we're requesting them for.
And I just wanna make it perfectly
You
clear.
guys
It's-
gotta just
It is setting,
held it hostage.
it is setting in a fund and it is still dedicated to dogs,
Yes.
whatever we need.
We paid
So, it's not-
$7,900.
It's not moved to anything else.
Right, and here's the thing about that too, is this,
$7,900.
Go ahead. Okay.
Because
Well,
that's what it was
say I went
supposed to
through.
be.
So,
That This was only K-9, that's what we
It's hard
paid
to
ourselves.
follow, I know.
to the bill.
With the donation done.
No,
Okay, you guys
no, we
need it
we
back.
paid it out of commissary.
And they're requesting that.
Give me 1 second, I'll get to you. He had a question.
So what happened to the donations that were?
That's what I was saying. They're setting in an account that is specified for canine purposes. Although they have to be appropriated in some form or fashion or budgeted at budget time, they will still be used for canine purposes in some form or fashion. The bills that was there had been paid. The claims that were turned in would have repaid those same bills, so that's why they weren't appropriated.
And I don't think that you can now write a
That fund has
check
been here
out of a
for
fund to give back to commissary.
years. It was here when I had a dog over there.
We have the invoices to prove we paid for.
Well, I don't say, I'm not doubting at all how
No,
things have
I'm
been
just
done
saying.
before.
That's what
But like, we
It
can't
wasn't
be for
empty,
fund
there-
to
it was
fund.
low,
I
but
don't
there
know
was
that we
money
could
in it.
be, like, she could pay the invoice out of that if the council appropriated it, but the invoices are already paid. I don't think that she can legally write a check out of the canine
it's
home
appropriated by
rule
you
fund.
guys.
You're gonna.
That's the problem.
That's I don't think you can write it into the commissary.
In
King.
the-
I don't
that
think you
budget.
can have it.
No, I would have had to, I mean, the way the invoice sent, I had to send it back to the people that
Right.
you bought the dog or the building from. Yes, that's what it was.
You can't move money from the
Yeah.
canine fund to the commissary. You can't write the commissary check out of the canine fund.
Here's the issue, and this is what I was.
So I don't think it's even doable at this point.
Always
like
before,
legally.
we had in good faith, we would write checks out of the commissary and it would be refunded back to the commissary through appropriations to the
You
county
can pay
council to give us the
quicker with
money.
the commissary.
Because I can pay it immediately, emergency stuff, and then get his shit back in. But that's what I'm trying to tell you is this, now, and I know you're looking weird, but it's been done that way for years.
We had
The state
a
board
dog
of
get
accounts
hurt.
is,
I'm looking like, oh crap, that's probably
yeah,
not
the
the right
state
way
board
to
of
do it.
accounts has approved it because we've been doing
Again,
it. Yeah.
I look at them
But
and
what
said,
I'm
why
trying to
did you
say
know?
is
So
this,
I don't.
we have the good faith thing
So
is gone
what is
now.
it, what can we put in place that if, like, what kind of emergency would you have that gets paid out of
We had
commissary?
a dog that got hurt the other day. I had to pay for it with our
Well, you
card.
got $4.5 million budget.
I don't have a line
So
for
we
that
need a line.
JR.
Okay. So we need a line
That's it.
and then we need
Can
to
it go,
put.
we have an officer medical dental, go use a medical dental.
No.
That's
Well,
on
no,
the
I'm
jail.
not supposed to do that.
I got a
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I got a question on that one and it's off topic, but why
But
is
I mean,
there a
if you put it on
medical
a
and
credit
dental
card-
and a dental?
That's the, JR, they've done that for years. And
There's
we have a
multiple lines.
hospitalization.
You're all gonna make me beat my head against this table.
That's
I
why
hate that.
that's the
That's
way
the
we
way
have
it's
it for
always
years.
been. But, so maybe we fix some
So,
of
wait a
that.
minute. I
Maybe
guess
we fix some of
we
that.
have a county credit card policy.
Mhm.
We have a policy that anybody can come to Jennifer's office and sign out a credit card, right? I mean, that's the policy. So you have an emergency, why could you not just not use the county credit card? That way it's on there
Where's it supposed to come from?
We can appropriate, but then we can appropriate it when we need to, right?
So then we would
So
just
you want us to
appropriate
give
it.
her of a nighttime, I've got the card, I mean, you know.
But the card we're moving
And we can
to,
have emergency meetings when we need to.
the form we're moving to, she can issue
I can issue a virtual-
like a virtual card and then you can use it. And then this board can vote on, well, that money was for Cujo. We need to take it out of K-9, pay that. We can do that.
I mean, there's gonna
I
be
think-
emergencies.
I think we need to-
We can take it out of K-9, but we can't.
Yes. Yes, we can. I mean, now I will tell you, in 25, it's gonna be a hard sell for me on going over the 4.4, because I was tough to get to that. But that's where I would be personally. And I think that is just for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but,
See, that's the problem right there with
The
those
funds
discretionary
help with
funds. We
that.
were paying bills with those. And now we're not paying the bills with them, so that's gonna,
but you shouldn't have
Change
to if
things.
you got 400,000 more dollars, right?
not, this is reality.
I get
We
it.
can all sit here and say this and with inflation and everything that's went up.
I know.
Yeah, but there needs to be instant increases and that never happened.
But the bottom line of the county didn't go up either. So how do I, as a councilman, how do I offset that?
Well, you've got how many different departments? We gave up a deputy to help
And a lot
out
of
Scott
people-
County.
Right. And a judges give up a person, Jennifer's give up a person. I mean, I'm not,
That's what I'm trying to say.
not
We're
being mean
doing our
saying you're the
part.
only
We're
one.
not
I'm not
saying
saying you're not. I'm just, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because ultimately I have a checkbook with so much money in it.
So what I'm trying to say is.
The only
this,
other thing is say, Joe taxpayer, you're paying more money.
And they don't need to. Why would they need to whenever we've got a K-9 fund that'll pay for that? That's exactly what they do. It's non-taxpayer money. It's donated. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you. We just need to appropriate it.
And we're
So
just-
whenever
Okay.
that building was gonna be ordered, we could have sent an additional appropriation, which I think is the breakdown of communication. We could have sent that. This board could have said, hey, they took in X amount of dollars in donations. They have that, appropriate that, done.
A lot of
I
times what
totally agree,
happens
because
on,
we've been saving the taxpayer hundreds of thousands of dollars by paying stuff out of commissary and paying that stuff. And now it's like,
well,
okay,
I mean, here's the thing, if you know, let's say the K-9 has what, 29,000, 27,000, whatever it is.
26.
You come in and you say, hey, during budget year, we just want to appropriate that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then,
Absolutely.
because what happens if you spend 15,000 on the dog? 14,000 reverts back, they're reverting funds. They can't go
Exactly.
back to the general or anywhere else.
and that's why I kept saying that we can't change the rules in the middle of the game. That's what I was trying to
But
say.
we
We've done
did.
it for years. you
We
see what
just
I'm
did
saying?
with a agreed order,
But what I'm trying to tell you is this,
big time.
we did now. We know that now, but it wasn't that
Right.
way when the budget time.
I'm
happened.
willing
We
to-
didn't know we had to.
I'm willing to
appropriate
rewrite the
K-9
book if
funds.
you are willing to work with me.
I'm willing to do anything we can to make it
Same
easier
here.
for and save money for
Everybody.
the taxpayers. Everybody should be.
And that's where I'm at. If it takes rewriting the game and me, you, her, and Jennifer, I'll pass it to all these guys. We're all on board, everybody at this table. Let's do it. But
I'm in agreement.
maybe what they did in 86 wasn't right.
And I get that. But again, here I go back to the point of is this, we need to know that beforehand because
Okay.
here we are sitting on $29,000
Sorry, John,
donated for
that
dog
you-
stuff. And we think we
I
can
was
use it
4
because
years
we
old.
always have. And then you're telling us, no, you can't use it.
Okay.
So that's where I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's not
Well, we
kosher.
can't relive tomorrow. Let's just communicate going
We can only
forward.
move forward from
I
here.
agree.
So that's the best. I think I'll do, short of going over the 4.4 in 2025, I'm willing to talk about anything. Is that fair? I mean, I'll talk about it. I just won't vote for it on my personal vote. I'm just telling, I'm being honest. You want honesty,
See,
that's honesty.
Here's the thing about it too, is this, and that's what I'm trying to tell you is this. We done this, you see what I'm saying? Thinking we had this money, we was gonna use this money. And then all of a sudden, you guys said, no, you can't use that. That's like, that's the problem. That's the whole issue. So for you to say that, it shows that you don't want to work with it because this was back before. Why wasn't we told back in budget time, hey, listen, you gotta budget that K-9 fund, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
I didn't
And
know
we
it
would have done
existed.
it. There you go. You see what I'm saying? It was there.
So we gotta learn.
So now
to
you're
move
punishing
forward.
us because of the
I'm not
fact that we've
punishing
done.
anybody.
Yeah, you are because you said you wouldn't vote for
We'll
it.
give you $400,000.
Dude, this is a new dog.
I get it.
It's a new, it's gotta have new equipment. This is a new edition dog. We raised the money to pay for that dog. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We raised the money to pay for it.
Sure.
It's all
And
paid
it's
for.
paid for.
Exactly, but you guys won't let us use the money
Sure.
because you said it comes out of that.
I've had that conversation with you several times about the discretionary funds that need to be appropriated.
Man, why
But
didn't
you
you ask me
know-
to be, why wasn't the appropriate?
I wasn't
thing to
even in
sit
your
down?
budget. I wasn't in your budget session, but even if you would, I mean, if you would have come and said, hey, we need an appropriation, or you would have told Matt when we were negotiating, hey, I need $5,000 from the K-9 fund for this K-9, certainly would have happened. Certainly would have happened,
It's
but
still
it didn't
avoiding
happen
the
that way.
question.
So
It's
you went
avoiding-
ahead and got the K-9 without getting the appropriation first and making sure it was okay.
It's
that you got
because
that.
we had the money. We
Okay.
raised
Hey.
the money to do
Yeah.
that.
Jerry,
I
we're
understand
beating
what
a
you're
dead
saying.
horse.
We are,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
but
are.
that's what I'm trying to say. It's me and her arguing back and forth, which it don't.
But
need
I
to be
told you
argued.
several
But
times,
you're
saying
arguing with an
absolutely have to
attorney.
be
You ain't gonna
Okay,
get
let me,
before
if
this
there's
happened,
all
so.
these people here was, well, almost all of them was in the appropriations. Did one single person tell us, well, you need to, where's your canine funds at? We need to appropriate that into this
But
budget.
you didn't
We can
tell
use
us
it
you were
for that.
buying a new dog either, so it goes both ways.
We didn't know we was gonna be able
I
to
didn't
get
know
a
you
new
were
dog.
either.
And I
You
knew,
know what I'm saying? So how do we do that when we don't
Right.
know? You
And
know,
that's what
you
I'm
know about dogs. You just don't go out and get a dog.
I don't think anybody knew there was a K-9 fund either, so if that was an issue that you knew was gonna come up, you should have said, hey, I
No,
mean,
because
why
we've
is it
been
on
using-
them?
that's
They're
what I'm trying to
budgeting
tell.
50 different
Exactly,
budgets,
that's
right?
exactly what I'm trying to
So
tell you. We
we're-
never had a
Don't get
problem
upset.
with it before.
Jerry, don't get
I'm not
upset.
getting upset, I'm just trying to explain
But
it.
everybody on
It's
here
like it's
thinks
going
you're
over
yelling.
everybody's head.
Then in the future, then let's just do better with it.
I
I mean, that's all we can
totally
do.
That's
I
all
totally
we
agree.
July 15th,
I-
we do better.
I totally agree.
Best I can do.
But see, that's what I'm trying to say, is this,
We do need to
that's
get budget
changing the
hearings
rules in the middle of the game, because we thought we had this money to be able to use it. We never went out and found the money off people.
So we changed the rules whenever we went from 4,096,000 to 4.4.
Why wasn't the rules changed in when we had the
I'll make
agreement?
sure it
Why
gets
wasn't there
updated. But do we have the first
I
budget?
never heard from him anything about using canine funds. until
We
this
didn't need
time.
them then. We had,
So
it's
August.
already been there. You're acting like you're ready to another fund. That's
Will
what-
you sit in
This
those
has been there for years.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's been used the same way for years. And we were using it, and that's exactly what we were doing, and now we're not supposed to do that. We can't do that.
So
it's
you
supposed
need to.
Can we get back to the matter at hand? I've heard
Just
about
change
all this bickering I wanna hear.
I have to, it's a
change it.
shame it has to happen.
With what? You don't
We're done with the bickering. Yeah.
We're,
All
you know,
right,
we made the request. We,
Yep.
we think there's a good faith basis. We hope you agree.
We got
And we'll reconsider, but you're gonna do what you're gonna do and.
All right.
We'll go from there.
fair enough. You got anything?
Moving forward, will you please create a K-9 line so that money can be put somewhere?
Yeah.
We don't have a place to put it if we appropriate it.
So at budget time, we make you a line in your,
Do you have to,
whichever.
at
Oh, in
way.
your
budget time, there's, I mean,
I mean, we don't.
The commissioners
I
can
mean, they've
create
got
it
6
anytime.
months to.
We can create the line, but we're,
right.
what are you gonna, I'll move 26,000. Where do you wanna take 26,000 out of what's there?
The
See, that's-
K-9 fund.
That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say.
The
That's what-
agreement is
Well, he's saying
4.4.
4.49, so you're
Right,
gonna.
I-
Well, this
we're
is
just
a
gonna
new
argue
line.
about it.
Let's
Let's not-
Yeah, let's
And that-
just-
That would be my vote.
When they
Just
do
tell
the
me.
sheets,
I'll put it on the agenda if you wanna add it, but I'm telling you, my vote would be no if it goes over it for 25 for me. Everybody else gets their own.
Like I said, we made the request.
I got you.
Do what you're gonna do.
We're done.
Good? All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Chair, thank you.
Get back with me on that.
We need to get those budget meetings set up the first.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jennifer,
See ya.
thank you. They're gonna get those.
Thank you,
guys.
Yeah, that's yours.
Bye, Joe.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So that was everybody. Amy has, Amy has her, K-9 fund right there. in front of her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I asked her
I
to
got
do that, but we need to set those for next month. They're already filling up.
Right.
Okay.
I left the message on the machine, but that's all.
Because I think I'm holding like every week.
See y'all.
The
See you, Ray.
7, 8, 14, 15, 21, and 22 is what I'm holding right now.
Do you wanna do that tonight?
If you want to talk about it later, then we can.
the auditors.
But let's do your ordinance.
The, other thing on the budget or on the agenda, I'm on a budget, was that ordinance that we talked about of changing the, I guess, rule to a ordinance regarding the authority to transfer county funds and reappropriate or refund county funds. It sets that in the state law, it says that it's only done or completed by proper officers. So this ordinance would just set that the Scott County Council is the proper officers of Scott County to handle fiscal matters. And therefore, we have the authority to make transfers without notice and approval of the Department of Local Government Finance between major budget classifications to the proper officers, which is,
And within.
and then doing it
Go ahead.
within It vests the authority to reappropriate funds recovered from erroneous or excessive disbursements within a budget year and refund money erroneously received without appropriation to the proper officers of the county. The Scott County Council has conferred with the State Board of Accounts on this matter and determined that the Scott County Council are the proper officers under Indiana code referred to herein this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained and established by the County of Scott and Indiana Council that all transfers of funds made, including those between and within major budget classifications, shall solely be made by resolution duly passed by the Scott County Council. All reappropriations and refunds contemplated in IC Code 61.1-18-9, including line corrections, shall solely be made by resolution duly passed by the Scott County Council. This ordinance does not supersede any prior orders entered by a court of recording regarding transfer of funds under these same rules. So I would entertain a motion to accept ordinance 2025-33.
Is this the second?
Or do we have
second
questions?
reading,
Yeah, it
right?
is the second reading of this.
That's the one we voted at last month.
Yes, sir. So it would basically allow us to do much of what we did tonight, looking at someone's budget, make a resolution, fix any transfers within. And I think we talked to Jennifer and she did roughly 175 transfers last year, not counting the sheriff's office. So hopefully this would cut that number down some, hold people a little bit more accountable to budgets and eliminate some of the headache on her, especially at the end of the year where she gets inundated with transfers of lines.
If this got to be more than we wanted, or there's some issues, we could always change it back, couldn't we?
You can
Yeah.
change it, and all this is really doing is saying that the council is the proper officers of the county, which is true and accurate according to the State Board of Accounts. So you could change in modifying this ordinance or creating an ordinance giving other people more authority to do within. You could set limits. You could, I mean, the sky's the limit to what the council's allowed to do, kind of.
Well, and I only too concerned with one, I get the feeling we're gonna be in here 3 or 4 times a month.
Oh, I think it'll be more than that.
Okay.
Well,
Anyway, that's my concern. If we start it and more than we want,
then we can
we're
change
gonna
it.
have to stop it real quick.
We can change it.
And two is I think it's gonna put a burden on all the office holders. Because they'll have to, just what we got through here, we're gonna have to wait up till a meeting before we can do anything. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think I understand where we're going. I'm just not too sure it's gonna be a lot more than we're gonna bite off more than we wish we'd bite off.
It's possible. And I guess initially, I know one of you guys I talked to said something about setting a limit on it. My only issue with that face value is, you know, if I'm given a $5,000 limit, then you do 4 transfers of 5,000, you're at 20 pretty quick.
I don't know, we probably couldn't do this, but I'd be more authoritative just to give you the authority to take a look at it and make a decision.
I don't even like you
Well,
anymore.
I know, we're all gonna be meeting every month if we don't do that.
Right.
So is this something that could be like send out emails and have enough response with a quorum?
You have to have 4
And then
show
you
up.
can date it
That,
for the
that
next meeting?
violates public access. law.
Public access
Can't
law
do
for that. I mean, I guess you could give a president the authority to,
Not with, only
What is-
within
what-
budget
what do you think
categories,
about
not
Jim?
outside.
yeah, within.
I mean,
If they've
that's-
got a way to do transfers, we could have some problems, like say EMS, if they run short. And this happened at the end of 2 years in a row that they had a transmission, I think, or it was mechanical issues that went out. We were able to transfer money so he could get it taken care of and paid. If we have to wait for a meeting, it
Is that
puts.
transferred out of the same line though? For his line, you transfer money out of the same line?
Yeah, he was able to move it in like that same series, and it's not the same
Same
line, but
series.
say, when you look at the budgets up there, like all your ones,
Yeah.
you can transfer between the ones, because that's kind of the same general thing.
Within,
The twos
that
are all the
fund.
same.
right?
Within the same.
Within
major-
that, just that
That
fund, yeah.
fund.
Yes.
Well, I think,
But when they go from a different fund to a different fund, it's gotta be appropriated, it's gotta be advertised anyway. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah, it's only the lines that you can transfer
But
between.
that's where we're involved with that now,
Mhm.
doing that. But
And the only, what it is, if it's the same series, like all your ones are basically, they would look at, that's more like your, employee, your labor benefits, that's your money for people, salaries. So then your twos are more like supplies. Threes are like other services and charges. So if something's a one, we can transfer it around in the ones. If it's a two, we can transfer it around to twos. Three's the same way. Now, to go from a one to a two or one to a three, you have to go to you guys to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna say something here. You remember what me and you were talking about, yeah?
I think I can, I'm tired right now, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. I used a very clear example of about $60,000. You remember the one I'm talking about? Well,
Hang on.
that's the one that I have trouble with. I'm gonna make a motion on this, and it ain't to hurt you in no way, shape, or form, Jennifer.
No, I don't.
You guys do what you wanna
I think
do. I'm just
and I
saying, when this
think is
happens.
gonna be the hardest on you of
Oh,
anybody.
yeah, absolutely.
But here's, I'm gonna say this. Last year, in the budget, we took a position away from Jennifer. And the intention was to replace that position with somebody
To do this.
working under the commissioners and the council.
It's fair.
I want to relook at that now.
Okay.
We need that position. Now, I don't know that position's gonna be a full-time position, but we have got to look at that.
Wasn't that created to go from office to office as needed?
Well, it
does.
did, but it wasn't really in the, job description, but that's, in reality, that is what they do. I'm gonna make a motion that we pass this tonight.
Past what tonight? What the ordinance?
Exactly as we wrote it the other day. But I do really want to look at that. Let's get that position filled, even if it's part-time. You've got to have some help, Jennifer. And if this means we've got to meet once a week, I signed up for this job no matter what it
And not
takes.
being rude, where these are not advertised, it might be something I call and say, hey, in 48 hours, we're gonna meet.
Now, let me ask you this.
That's what we'll have to do.
Is there a way, is the resolutions, like right now, if I said a while ago,